All right, and we are here again, and we are back again. As always, I'm Matt.
Still Drew.
And this is the Back Again podcast. This is the only review show that takes a sequel from the past, and asks the very serious question of, is it worth going back again? We are wrapping up season 2 to our action movie sequel list, and boy, oh boy, Drew, what a season it has been.
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
It's been more disappointing than I'd like, but not all of it was disappointing.
But overall, it's been an action-packed season, and we're going to close out that season with the follow-up to the 1978 Drunken Master, and we are going to be doing Drunken Master 2.
Jackie Chan returns as the Drunken Master.
Here's another one. Keep drinking.
Drunken Master 2 comes out in 1994. It's directed by Jackie Chan and Lau Kar-leung. It's starring Jackie Chan, Lau Kar-leung, Anita Mui, Andy Lau, and T. Lung. Drunken Master 2 does not pick up after the events of the first Drunken Master because guess what?
I mean, it's not a direct sequel,
Yeah,
but I don't know why.
It is not a sequel, and I guess that's the perfect way to end the season to the action sequel podcast list. So what is Drunken Master 2 about, Drew?
In the first one, it is a drunken master, so the master is the one who kind of knows the style and teaches it to the pupil, and the pupil's played by Jackie Chan. In the sequel, the pupil is the one who has mastered that style and is kind of showing it to the master, who I think is his father, and he's trying to, I think, kind of like legitimize it as like a style, because it's kind of like not proper to be using it.
Yeah, as far as conversations go about that style, we immediately just jump into he's not allowed to do this style with his father. It's never been established as if he's tried to, like, because I like what you just said there. He wants to make it considered as a legitimate style, but that doesn't ever seem to be his goal. It's more of like, well, I'm supposed to hide this, but I'm also just really good at it. Yeah,
and the reason, just to get it kind of on the table, the reason that it's not like respected or regarded well is because in order to master it, or at least to use it efficiently, you have to be actually intoxicated. And then when Jackie Chan's, and the drunker he gets, the better he fights. The drunker he gets, the more of a fool he looks like, and the more kind of shame he brings to his family. So that's kind of why, that's kind of where the struggle or the power dynamic goes on, like, should he use the style or should he refrain from using it? And
we're kind of talking about this plot as if this is like more of a serious drama, like action movie, like we were talking about The Raid or something, but it's not. This is actually like an action comedy, so as far as that plot goes, where you can obtain this martial arts style, but you have to be extremely intoxicated to do it. So therefore, his stepmom is throwing alcohol at him to get him drunk. This is a comedy.
Well, that's I don't know if you want to go right into the character dynamics, but that's one I really like, between Jackie Chan, his father, and his stepmother.
Yeah, she's like trying to get him drunk, and they had a good dynamic. It seems that everybody likes her besides her husband.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like is, everyone fears the father, but then the stepmother like openly disobeys him, and then like is always like rallying the kids almost against him. Yeah. And I couldn't tell if that one other person was actually his brother or was like a servant, because they all treated him like garbage. They treated him like a Meg.
I think that's Jackie Chan's brother.
His brother? Okay.
Like the character's brother.
They really treated him like a servant.
Yeah.
Maybe
he's like a cousin or something like that, like stays with them.
Or maybe it was just the comedy of like...
It could be funny too. What if like that was the son from her marriage that she brought over?
That'd be interesting.
Oh, where do you think you're going? You have to help me out of this.
You're all gonna find some way to blame me.
The reason that this also isn't a sequel is because none of the characters return besides, I guess, Jackie Chan's character.
Is his character the same, essentially? Like, does he have the same name? I can't remember.
Yeah, so Jackie Chan's character's name is the same in both these movies, but as far as the Drunken Master in the first one, he's not even in the second one. And as far as the master that they introduce is just the co-director, and, he's just a different master. He knows of drunken style, but his agenda isn't like teaching that. Like, his agenda is just like stealing like a gem or a rock or something that's like the greatest artifact in history or whatever, and that's where he accidentally trades it with the ingredient with Jackie Chan at the train station. What it was. Who knows? But
ginseng.
Yeah, ginseng. Yeah. In the world, these are the same. This is the same character. So, but if this is his father in the second,
his father's completely different in the first one.
His father's completely different in the first one. His mother's completely. He only think he has a mother in the first one.
Well, that's stepmom.
Well,
so the stepmom's new. Yeah.
So maybe in theory, after his father ran this dojo in the first one, and then he almost got assassinated, and it was a stressful life and everything. They moved. He became a doctor, and he forbid him from doing that drunken master style because,
he gets drunk and then he brings shame. Does the father in 2 actually have any fight scenes?
Yeah, he does like some defense fighting. Like when Jackie Chan is getting really drunk and he's fighting all those guys to impress like his stepmom. Eventually he steps in. He doesn't even realize he's fighting his father.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay.
And then there's also when the master comes and visits, and then the stepmom like fights him. It's like, you can't come to my house. Then the father comes out and he like defends the house. So he's always doing defense fighting. He's not ever, and that's the reason why he doesn't like his son fighting. But in the first one, he ran a dojo.
Yeah, so he was always fighting.
So, I mean, if they brought back the same father and they did that continuation of the story, it probably would have helped. But they don't hide the fact that this is not a sequel. They're just going to bring the character back, try to reintroduce the martial arts in a new way, kind of get more comedy beats going, and overall just try to, like what Evil Dead did, where they just try to make a better...
Yeah, it's like a soft reboot.
It's a soft reboot, exactly. But the reason why we're doing it on this list, and I think why it's good to close out the season, is because even though you have these clear representations of it not being a sequel, it's still probably some of the best like fight choreography that we've seen all season.
When you have a Jackie Chan movie, especially a classic like this, that's like a given.
And we all know that Jackie Chan has done like, hundreds of takes before until he gets it perfect. He's like a perfectionist. So this is really impressive. And I think this is them definitely showing off their skills of what they can do. And they actually re-released this movie in 2000 in America, and they call it The Legend of the Drunken Master. It's a good, we're doing an action movie sequel list. It's not necessarily a sequel, but it is considered on the internet, and they're never wrong. One of the greatest action movies ever, just based on the choreography. And yeah, choreography is really good.
Plus, we didn't know it wasn't a true sequel until we were like already halfway through it, so we just decided to finish it up.
Well, that's the thing with the sequels, right? They always call it two. Like they could have called this movie just like The Legend of the Drunken Master.
Yeah,
it's almost like they sent to America. They were like, this isn't a sequel. Let's just give it a new title.
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, I think a big part of what helps is Jackie Chan's physical comedy and how he integrates character moments into the fights. My favorite was, or I guess the one that comes to mind the most obvious, is where he's fighting off all of the bad guys' goons in the middle of the town square, and his stepmom is throwing him wine so that he can like keep drinking and keep the style going. And he has to like integrate that into his fighting. They kind of tease that a little bit in the first one, where the Drunken Master, the one who's training Jackie Chan, is like moving his flask around and using it in the fight, and then like continuously drinking through the fight. And I think they do a fun thing here with that.
We've seen kind of funny fight scenes in other movies, like maybe in Charlie's Angels, there's funny moments within a fight scene, or overall like the tone. But
they're like separate from the fight scenes. It's like a moment where you get taken out of the fight.
Yeah. And
it's like a cute moment or something, a comedy moment, and then we're back in the fight.
And the motivation to fight in those other movies is never based on a comedic kind of beat. Whereas in the second one, and also in this first one, most of the fights are motivated, or like the arguments are motivated on comedic kind of beats. Like the only time where it's kind of true, like I'm here to like fight you and mess you up, is probably more so in the first one.
Yeah.
In the second one, he never really wants to fight until they give the motivation of these bad guys that are...
This one where they're trying to buy his land?
They're trying to buy the land, and they have like a shipping yard or something like that, or they have some like a headquarters. It's like a warehouse.
Yeah.
And near the third act of the movie, like Jackie Chan and then his two buddies that are also fighters, they're going to go to this place, and that's where the stepmom throws him the fan.
Yeah.
She's like, here, go fight. Here's your fan. So, but even when they get there, he doesn't even start fighting really, really good until he starts getting like really, really drunk. I mean, he holds his own against all the people that are thrown at him, but it's a mix up on the list, which is nice because not all the action, especially coming off of Transporter 2, where it's like, I'm going in there to get that guy.
Yeah.
He's seeking justice, but he can only really fight good if it's like based off of him being drunk, which is just comedy.
Yeah. Which is interesting because like there's an essence of comedy in like the Transporter movies with just how ridiculous and over the top it is. But in like something like Drunken Master, I feel like it's more, I don't know what you would call it, more genuine almost. Because I feel like you almost have to be cynical with the comedy in Transporter to an extent. In this one, it just seems more like, I don't know, either organic or like pure.
Well, I kind of like the fact that they had a more serious storyline in the first one of this guy that's just going around like, he's like, I'm a hired assassin. Somebody hired me to kill you, and I'm here to kill you.
Yeah, Thunderleg.
Thunderleg, that's right. And then when he comes across, it's almost like the Wild West. When he comes across Jackie Chan's character, he like teaches him a lesson. He makes him walk between his legs, and then he has like a breakdown, and that's his like desire to become like, to change his ways, if you will. In the second one, there's never really a moment like that. He gets beat up again by somebody, but it's more so he gets beat up by like a lot of people for being drunk.
Well, that's the thing, is like it's all about someone coming to terms with this fighting style. In the first one, Jackie Chan's character is coming to terms with the fighting style himself and like understanding that it's something he has to accept. In the sequel, it's his father who has to change.
Yeah, but
so Jackie Chan's character is the protagonist, but he doesn't really go through any change.
But not only that, his father in the first one wants him to learn the Drunken Master style.
Yeah, he sets the whole thing up.
He sets the whole thing up. In the second one, he doesn't want him to do the style. It's like, where did he learn it from?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, like, by doing it, it's almost like he's bringing public shame to his family, whereas in the first one, the fact that he's not doing it is bringing him personal shame because he's losing these fights.
Yeah. It was, you could tell it was like the first one was an idea they weren't 100% with, because they're like, we'll have Jackie Chan and we'll have the Master, and there'll be two different characters.
Yeah.
And this one, they're like, no, Jackie Chan has to be the Drunken Master. We have to make the story work around that. So what's kind of the easiest change we can make? We'll just have the father's, because that's, you know, the most direct relationship. We'll just have the father's motivation change.
Yeah.
We'll just have him 180. And now Jackie Chan's the Drunk Master. His father's not for it. He's against it. And then everything else kind of, you know, except for the whole jade amulet, ginseng swap, everything else. The character tension is very organic. The plot tension is very convoluted and orchestrated, but it's, you know, it's still fun.
And they had very little money for this first one, but they still had a box office return of like 15 million. They actually got a little bit more money for the second one. It's really hard to estimate what they got for each of them, but based on what I was reading, they got a little bit more money for the second one, and then they got a huge, like a way bigger box office return for the second one. So I understand why they probably wanted to just redo it instead of continue it. But through that, then, like you said, you get kind of like a different plot and a different readjustment. It's like you just watched a movie that was called Drunken Master.
Yeah. Plus, there was a big time difference between the two, so a direct sequel might have been a little out of the question.
And just quality-wise, I mean, like, this movie comes out about 16 years after the first one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jackie Chan is playing a son again in the sequel, but he's like, didn't we look it up? Wasn't he like in his like early 40s?
I think he was, in his early 40s.
Yeah. Whereas in the first one, he was like in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
But, I mean, geez.
I mean, at least they didn't try to keep his character a hothead, because that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, he's still silly, and he's still like, you know...
Well, the silliness, I think, comes from his intoxication. I don't think he's necessarily too silly when he's sober.
He feels probably more shame in the second one, but I don't know if he necessarily grows as a character.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what's like weird about it. The character growth is relegated to the father, so there's not really much for Jackie Chan's character to do insofar as change. Because he's right. The movie's called Drunken Master. That's his style. It's good. Like, his family needs to get with the times.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is he's not even that much of a flawed character.
Well, he poisoned that guy with the frickin' tree root when they didn't have the ginseng, and then he grabs like a...
That's not technically all his fault. That's what happens when him and his mother are allowed to just kind of orchestrate their almost like Always Sunny in Philadelphia-esque kind of plots. like unseen by the father. Like, when the father turns his back, murder almost happens.
There's a lot of things that they don't like pay the consequences for, like other people do. Like, I'm not even sure.
That's what kind of like factors it in, I think, kind of a little bit more as a comedy.
Yeah. Does that mom character, she says that she's pregnant just to get out of like getting a beating.
We don't know if she's actually pregnant.
We don't know if she's actually pregnant.
They play that for the whole movie.
They never address it.
You're driving me out of my mind!
Hit me then! Hit me, all right? Or better yet, kill me! Kill me and the little one inside me!
Little one? Is that so? We're going to have a baby? Why didn't you tell me? Come inside.
Never! You told me to get on my knees, so here I am, on my knees.
Please,
I
stop.
do this
I
for
didn't
you.
know
It
you were
doesn't
having
matter
a
if I'm
baby.
pregnant.
Please.
I just do what you tell me to do. I don't care what it does to them.
One thing that's kind of consistent as far as sequels go is bad guys. And as far as the bad guys go in the second one, they're more interesting than the first one, because the first one is just...
a bounty hunter.
Yeah, it's a bounty hunter, which in itself is interesting, but this one's more kind of plot central, where it's like a group of bad guys. They have all their workers down there in like the mines, and like they try to like revolt back, but then one guy goes down there and just like kicks all their ass and stuff. So then these are going to be the people that Jackie Chan and his crew fight at the end, and they were really cliche villains, but they were dominant in their fighting, so therefore the threat was real.
I don't like the antagonist, because everything's dominated by the family drama. At least to me, I feel like that stuff stuck out a lot more to me. The stuff between him and his dad, more so than him and the antagonist.
Yeah, I mean, they're not necessarily, they're like kind of necessary antagonists just to have like a third act. Whereas in we
need a physical threat.
Yeah, we start the movie in 1978 with Thunderlegs. So he's got like probably a better storyline and a better arc as a villain as a whole, but he only pops up when we kind of need, he only pops up like 3 times or 4 times total, right? Because he pops up in the beginning, then he pops up with Jackie Chan in the middle, then he pops up when he's trying to kill Jackie Chan's father at the end. With the bad guys, we kind of kept jumping back to them more like a standard action movie to like check up on them like being intimidating and stuff.
No, the antagonist is the father because the father's the one who needs to change.
But no, but the father
it's just not an antagonist that you can beat up. It's someone that you have to like change their mind.
Well, you're saying that the father needed to change his mind, but he probably more so accepted it. I mean, because that's the thing is we didn't get that audio in the last minute, so we don't know how he necessarily feels.
Well, I mean, it's grounded in like old ways of thinking where like respect and honor are like above happiness.
I guess, but Jackie
and like
Chan,
personal fulfillment.
Jackie Chan doesn't even rely on the Drunken Master style until he's at his lowest point in the fight.
Well, that's the thing is you need a reason for him to rely on it. That's why you have the actual antagonists come in.
Well, also the lore of the style from the first one that they kind of went away with, but what they were suggesting was that if you do the drunken style, it's all about making your opponent think that you're drunk, and therefore they look at your footwork and they think it's sloppy. So then they're going to attack a certain way and then you can counter that. When you're actually drunk doing the drunken style, it feels a little bit like luck.
Well, no, that's the thing is that's kind of true. But the other thing too is like, that's kind of what makes it so challenging is you have to have the discipline to be able to master it while drunk.
Okay.
And that's the thing is when he's actually getting drunk, it's throwing them off because they're like, oh, he's actually drunk.
Yeah.
I have the advantage now. But he's trained so much
but that's
while
still...
drunk that he can keep his mastery up while he's drunk.
Yeah, and you see the repercussions of that only in the first one, where when the master's not drinking, his hand's like shaking.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Like, where's he at with my liquor, my wine?
That's what's interesting is they make Jackie Chan the master in this one, but then they remove the alcoholism element that was in the first one.
And I like the alcoholism element because that's consequences.
Because that's your real stakes.
Yeah.
The stakes of the physical antagonists of I forget what his name was, but the antagonists in Drunken Master 2, they go away when you establish that Jackie Chan's invincible when he's drunk, and then there's plenty of like wine around.
Yeah.
You need another threat to get your stakes back. And then alcoholism is the logical next step.
Yeah.
But then that's completely gone.
There are a couple similar beats that happen in the second movie that also happen in the first movie. So some big ones that stick out is that there's a scene at like a market that takes place where Jackie Chan has to fight a bunch of people. The difference within this is that in the first one, he was antagonizing a mom and the daughter that he would find out later is his aunt and his cousin. In the sequel, his stepmom is bringing her girlfriends around to show off how her stepson can fight when intoxicated.
Yeah.
Another beat is Jackie Chan being drunk at a restaurant. In the first one, I believe he's like run away from home or his father doesn't like him and he's hungry. So in order to get a free meal, he bum rushes on a man at a table and is like, hey, you mind if I sit with you? And he starts eating a bunch of food really fast. And he's like, oh, I'll be right back. And then he goes to leave. And then they're like, you need to pay for that food. He's like, no, that guy's covering it. And then he's like, that guy's the owner and I'm his son. And he's like, what? And then in the second one, I believe he is just getting drunk because he's depressed, or he's already drunk still from his stepmom getting him drunk and his dad being mad at him.
And now he's really depressed.
So now he's really depressed. Now he's getting really drunk again. He's singing a song about it and, all this kind of stuff. Another beat is obviously doing all the Drunken Master. There's all these different gods and he's doing all the poses of all the different gods. But in the first one, we learn of all the different poses and then he has to use them. And then the second one, he just knows all the styles and he just uses them.
But we still see him, right? Do they name him and everything?
He doesn't. I don't think they name him in the second one. He just kind of does them, or if he names him, he gives him like a nickname. And then it's the same thing with fighting with the wine jug that you're drinking from as you're fighting.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because if you don't know about these gods and the style, and you just watch the second one, you kind of have to catch up. And I don't know if you would. I think we enjoyed the styles more because we already had the context of knowing what they are.
Well, not necessarily, because in the first one, you need to have all of that like mythical lore because Jackie Chan's coming to it as an outsider. In this one, where the protagonist already knows it and the conflict isn't necessarily about him learning it, it's about the conflict of the drinking with his family and how they perceive like his armor and him like being a fool when he's drunk. We're not as focused on the fighting style. We're more focused on the interpersonal drama and to an extent the antagonists who are going around.
But then there's this whole other plot that's thrown in with this gem, this like artifact that this master.
But that's not tied into the Drunken Master style, is it?
It's not tied into the Drunken Master style, but it forces its way into the plot to where we kind of forget about the Drunken Master stuff. So now it just becomes a movie about getting this artifact to where when all these people are attacking the Master and Jackie Chan in this house for this artifact, we're not even using Drunken Master style to fight these guys.
I forgot about that scene because I forgot what it has to do with the plot.
Well, they have the artifact and all these people that are after it that work for
The antagonist.
Yeah. They're going to try to get the artifact, and then Jackie Chan and the Master, they're using the bamboo sticks, and they're fighting everyone.
Yeah.
It's a really epic fight scene, and it's like, there's a million.
There's a million guys. They keep coming.
There's just so many guys, and they're just whipping ass and stuff. I don't remember. I think they get out of it by like jumping out of a window, or something like that.
Like a second story window.
Because I think the Master gets hurt again. The Master's always getting his ass kicked at some point in this. So it's like it just becomes kind of an action movie after that, and you don't mind it because the action's cool. But as far as like the Drunken Master lore and the style, they focus more on the first one. They only use it, I feel like, as a gimmick in the second one. So that's like one of my only like really big negative things just about what I think this franchise was trying to bring, and what I liked about it, and what they didn't really necessarily continue in the second one.
I could see them staying away from it in order to get bigger worldwide, like global audience, because that's very tailored to, I think, a Chinese, like a local audience, that kind of like lore.
Yeah.
I think the general public just wants to see Jackie Chan doing his karate.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably evenly spread out as how many times he just fights versus how many times he fights in the Drunken Master, fighting style.
Yeah, they definitely, because I think he almost exclusively fights Drunken Master in the first one, except for the beginning. In this one, he's all over the place. Got to be such a better movie if he was actually an alcoholic.
So as always on this podcast, we ask 3 questions that lead to a final vote of is it worth going back again? And the first question is, does it work as a sequel?
Nope. I mean, that's like the first thing we said on this podcast is it's not a true sequel. That's pretty much all I've got. I don't like that there's no direct reference. There's only homages to the original. The character is consistent, but there's no growth. It's like a soft reboot, and that, it doesn't really make it function as a sequel. So technically, it's like a technical fumble or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, as far as the rules on this podcast goes, like it's going to get an X for me as well. It's just not work as a sequel. And even if they kept everything they kept in the sequel and he just referenced his old master just once, I maybe would have given it a check. Yeah. Because the whole thing is that they just don't reference who he learned this style from.
There's no, and it's not like there's no like lore bait or whatever. It's like there's no continuation. There's no overarching plot between the two movies in any sense. It is a redo. It is like a retread. So it just fails on a technical note.
And it's a great way to close the season on 2 X's of it does not work as a sequel on the Sequel Podcast. Now we're just going to jump into the next question, which is it enjoyable / entertaining? And I'll make this one quick and easy. Yes, this is enjoyable / entertaining. I mean, even if you don't necessarily like some of these scenes where it's just like kind of comedy beats, or it's just like, the father talking about, how he doesn't like his son and trying to figure out if his wife is actually pregnant or not. It's an entertaining movie. It looks good. It's directed well, and all the fight scenes are fantastic. It's considered one of the greatest action movies ever made, probably just from the choreography, not as far as like the stakes go. And I feel like it is a play on action movies with the fact that they're doing this Drunken Master thing. They're like kind of doing a wink, like this is their style. Or there just could be an actual lore to Drunken Master, and like, this is their interpretation of that lore. But either way, it's enjoyable / entertaining. And if you're not even entertained by the plot, you'll be entertained by Jackie Chan alone.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think it succeeds in comedy. I think it succeeds in the action for sure. Character is flat but enjoyable. And I don't really have any antagonists are forgettable, but whose antagonists aren't on this list.
Yeah. It feels like a long movie. I'm not going to lie.
It feels long, but it is short. And I think it's just because there's a lot happening. There's a lot of action.
Yeah. And there's not a lot going on in between the action. It's more of just kind of character comedy, family drama kind of stuff.
It's paced like an old movie. Yeah. It's paced a lot slower.
It's almost like it's only enjoyable as an action movie because of the action. Yeah. But if you remove the action, it would be maybe an enjoyable movie, which I don't know if I could say that for every other movie on the list. Because you could remove the action from some of these other movies and there's still interesting stories.
Exactly. Yeah. This would fail that test. Yeah. But it comes in so reliant on the action that, you know, you can't even fault it for that.
So that sounds like it's going to get 2 quick checks there. So the final question of season 2 of the Back Again podcast is going to be, does it need to exist?
Yeah, I think so. I think it does for everything that it does for the fighting style, for Chinese movies in general, for Jackie Chan's career, and then just the fact that it is so superior to the first one. I think for those reasons it does need to exist. I'm not saying it's flawless, but I think it gets so much right, and the things that it gets wrong take such a back seat in what you could tell Jackie Chan and his co-director thought were important, and they were able to just elevate everything that they thought was important, which was like the action, the likable characters. They were consistent too. So yeah, good character development, shoddy plot work, but whatever.
I think it needs to exist as well, but only because of the fight scenes, only because of the choreography. You know, if I'm going to revisit this movie, it's probably just going to be clips on YouTube of the fight scenes, because I already have the context, so I don't need to rewatch the context of the movie to enjoy the fight scenes. I don't even think you need character to enjoy this choreography and these fight scenes, because it's not like the character. I was never concerned for Jackie Chan's life. Like, and maybe that's because this was a comedy, but I always felt if anything he would just get his like ass kicked really hard. He wouldn't like die.
Well, that's the thing is they kind of do that. They make it about shame and honor.
Yeah.
They don't make it about life or death.
I did feel worried for him in the final act of this movie when he was fighting those bad guys, but once he found the alcohol, then it's like, you know, it's kind of like a comedy, like, you know, ending. So it definitely needs to exist. I enjoyed it. I think other people should watch it. I think history has proven that it needs to exist. And if anything, they should have made a Drunken Master 3.
Well, I think they did, but they really should have tried to find someone else to carry the franchise that he could have like passed the torch to in the third one.
Yeah, like his stepbrother that's always getting blamed for
everything.
everything.
Oh my god, yeah.
What?
That was not his stepbrother. It was either his blood brother or it was like a servant.
This should just been a scene where he hands him like the alcohol. It's your turn now. And he's like, oh, jeez.
Oh, geez, Jackie.
So if you're doing that math at home, that's going to be 4 checks and 2 X's. So it's going to get 1 giant check for worth going back again. And yeah. That's season 2 of the Back Again podcast for you. It's been an action-packed season. It's been some good movies, some bad movies. Stay tuned for our next episode because we are going to rank every movie that we watched during season 2. And we'll give you our pick for our favorite action movie on that list. As always, everyone, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, that you comment below. You can follow us on all streaming platforms wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can also watch these episodes with video on YouTube. Just click that notifications button to get updates on when new videos are coming out. Special shout out to Neely for doing our intro and our outro song. And yeah, that's a wrap on season 2. Drew, one more time, you got anything to add?
If you're going to hit me, just go on.
All right, everyone, we'll see you next time.
Bye, 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 again. Bye, bye.